Togaf stands for the Open Groups Architecture Forum. Togaf is a step-by-step method for developing an enterprise architecture using a set of prescribed tools. The first version was developed in 1995, which was based upon the Technical Architecture Framework for Information Management, developed by the U.S. Department of Defense. Togaf seeks to be an approach to rapid architectural development and effective governance. It does not prescribe the models that should be used to represent the architecture. It guides the process when creating an architecture. Due to its scalability, it can be used for government organizations, large enterprises, and even small or medium-sized companies. When looking at the different levels of architecture a framework could support, Togaf seeks to support all levels, ranging from business architecture to data and technology architecture. The main benefits of Togaf are: it's a proven method with years of research as a background and developed by world-leading architects. It uses common vocabulary so that everyone in the organization can read and understand the information provided by the resulting architecture. Zachman. The Zachman framework of enterprise architecture is one of the most widely accepted frameworks amongst the other enterprise architecture frameworks. As Zachman proposed, the foremost purpose of this framework is to provide a logical structure which classifies and organizes the descriptive representations of an enterprise that are significant to the management of the enterprise as well as to the development of the enterprise's systems. Zachman framework consisted of 6 rows, and each row had a purpose. The purpose of row 1 described in the framework is to define the boundaries of the enterprise, which includes the scope of the enterprise. Row 2's purpose is to conceptually define what the enterprise owners have in mind. Row 3's design is to focus on how the concept of the enterprise will be realized systematically. Row 4 is to define the enterprise implementation, keeping in mind the technology constraints. Row 5's purpose is to specify the implementation specific to technology products being used for the implementation. Row 6 then becomes the instantiated. It becomes a reality. Zachman framework provides a perfect balance between the holistic contextual view and the implementation view of an enterprise. It also allows for abstraction, proposed for simplification of understanding and communication. Throughout the enterprise, clearly defining the focus of the enterprise for analytical purposes, making better choices in the context of the enterprise. It acts as a planning tool, and enabling one to work with abstractions to simplify and isolate simple variables without losing sense of the complexity of the enterprise as one. According to Vaga, the purpose of the Zachman framework is to provide a basic structure that supports the organization, access, integration, interpretation, development, management, and changing of a set of architectural representations.
Advantages and disadvantages of the Zachman framework. The advantages of the Zachman framework. The Zachman framework has proven quite valuable for: number 1, improving the communications within the information systems community; number 2, placing a wide variety of tools and methodologies in relation to one another; number 3, understanding the reasons for developing any architectural representation; number 4, understanding the risk of not developing any architectural representation; number 5, rethinking the classic approach of application development process. The disadvantages of the Zachman framework. 3 major problems have been detected in the Zachman framework: a lack of methodology covering all the aspects of the framework, a lack of repository storing the framework in accordance with the integrity rules. Number 3, a lack of a popular modeling notation for all of the framework's columns. The advantages of the Togaf framework. The advantages of Togaf include: number 1, increased transparency of accountability and informed delegation of authority; number 2, controlled risk management; number 3, protection of the existing asset base through maximizing reuse of existing architectural components; number 4, proactive controlling, monitoring, and management mechanisms; number 5, process, concept, and component reuse across all organization business units; number 6, value creation through monitoring, measuring, evaluation, and feedback, increased visibility, supporting internal processes and external party requirements. The disadvantages of the Togaf framework. Number 1, the downside of Togaf is that it misleads the naive. Number 2, Togaf is a framework for activities and deliverables. It specifies or advises that certain activities and deliverables can be utilized when developing an architecture. What it doesn't tell you is how to do these things. A good guide to a project and to non-IT managers that if knowledge of Togaf is specified as being critical, then there is a high likelihood that the wrong people are already making the wrong decisions, and we all know where that road leads to.